Hello and welcome to the CottageCutz YouTube channel. My name is Lynn and today I am going to be crafting with some of the die sets from the second half of the Christmas release. And in particular, well, I did pull out 3 sets, but I only ended up using 2. The Rustic Wreath and the Holiday Dove with Floral. The third set that I pulled out was the Rustic Winter Window, which I think has a lot of elements that would also complement this, both of these dies that I did end up using, because there are a lot of floral elements that will help you to build up a wreath. And what I've done in advance already is I have die cut from white cardstock that's been lined with double-sided adhesive tape. And then I just did a very quick coloring with my alcohol markers. And the nice thing about doing this technique is that you can kind of be messy with your coloring. You can color sort of outside the die cut because, and it's actually better if you do, because that way you can sort of get the edges. And I did miss some areas, and that's what I'm touching up on right here. But it's pretty easy, fast way to get some depth and color and dimension into your die cuts. The reason why sometimes I do it this way and sometimes I use solid color cardstock, it really just depends on which elements I plan to use. If I'm planning to use essentially the entire die set, then I often find it's easier to do this method because I can run everything through with one color, basically white, and it is a lot more efficient. If I am only looking to use a couple of elements on the die plate, then I often find that it's easier to just cut up small sections or scraps of solid color cardstock and lay that over that area of the die, basically the piece that I want to use. So I really decide based on how much of the die plate I am intending on using. And since the Rustic Wreath, I basically used, I think, just about everything in that set. And with the Holiday Dove and Floral, I used, again, pretty near everything except for the actual dove, because there's actually a bird that is included in the Rustic Wreath set. So I chose to use that bird instead because scale-wise I felt like it worked a little bit better with the size of the wreath. So now with everything colored, die cut, and already with adhesive on the back, I basically have individual stickers that I can then use to build up my wreath. And what's really lovely is between these 3 sets, and that's the reason why I wanted to combine them, is because they do have different floral elements and different shapes and sizes, and so it's kind of nice to be able to pick and choose between the 3 just to have that variety, because plant life is all very unique. And so it's really, really nice that you have plants that curve in different directions, so you can really get it to kind of wrap all the way around the wreath if you want. And the nice thing about the Rustic Winter Window, which I didn't end up using, but I wanted to, it's just my wreath was already so full that I didn't feel like I needed it. But this, that particular set, the Rustic Winter Window, actually has some acorns, which I think are really lovely. And it does have a different size poinsettia, and it even has I think it's a lily flower. So it's definitely got some different elements there, as well as that set too also has a bird. It has a cardinal. So really, really great. And I would have used it, except that I didn't really intend on using the window portion of that. And so I wanted to see how far I could get with the other two sets. And between just the two sets and just die cutting it the one time, I really got a lot of elements to play with. The poinsettia that's part of Rustic Wreath, you saw me just layer that up. There's actually 5 die cuts that you can layer to build up a single flower, and it's really, really nice, especially when you if you color it the way that the packaging suggests, where you can start with maybe a darker red and then work your way to almost a pink. It does end up with a lot of dimension, and it looks like a very full flower. So I love how they've done that. And if you wanted to make a smaller flower, sort of as you see it on the packaging, you could just use maybe the smallest 2 flower petals and then build up that way. So you do have some you can create some variation just by choosing how many layers you want to add. And so it's really fun once you get to this point, and everything is basically just, as I mentioned, stickers that you can just drop down. If you want to actually see the coloring and all of that, I have a version of this process video on my channel, which is LV Handcrafted, and I leave all of the coloring in that video because not everyone is interested in seeing coloring. So if that's something you are interested in, you can pop on over to my channel and just watch the beginning portion, because then everything else is going to be exactly the same. But wait until you finish watching this one just so that you can see me complete this card. And also, if you commented on my video a couple weeks ago, you would have been in for a chance to win a die set from CottageCutz. So to see if you've won, you'll want to go ahead and expand the description box below, and I'll have the winner listed there, and the information for who to contact in order to claim your prize. And in this video, if you are interested in being in for a chance to win the Rustic Wreath, then please go ahead and like this video and drop a comment. And when I post a new video to the CottageCutz channel, you'll know whether or not you've won. And so as I continue to build up my wreath here, the main thing that I'm trying to do is balance the color a little bit, especially the red, because I think red really has a tendency to draw your eyes. And so I want to be cognizant of where and how I'm using red. And I noticed last minute that I put together the pine cone and I haven't used it yet. And as well, I also haven't colored in the bird that came in the Rustic Wreath set. So I, since I knew it would take me a spell to put those together, I did go ahead and apply a Nuvo drop to the center of my poinsettia. There is an actual die cut that you can use and for the center of your flower if you wanted, but I always like to put Nuvo drops in the centers of my flowers, so I chose to do that instead. And I missed a little bit of footage there, but I did get the bird colored up and decided to, well, I wasn't exactly 100% sure where I wanted to put it, whether I wanted to put it at the top of the wreath or more like how the packaging shows to use the bird, and I really like how they did it. So I went ahead and put the bird in the center of the wreath, and then I just have a simple glimmered hot foiled sentiment that reads "Season's Greetings," and I added that onto some low profile foam just to give it a little bit of lift and a little bit of that gold shine to finish up this holiday card. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to drop a comment in order to be in for a chance to win the Rustic Wreath die set. Thanks so much, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye.